Let me clear my throat. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I might as well get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the kick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I don't without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I don't without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with pens and needles. So lethal, mean Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. But the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up. If I don't take me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson.
What's good, good people? What's popping? Happy Thursday. Welcome in, everybody. You know where you at. You're at the best place to be on Thursday night. Well, actually, any night of the week when we're on, this is the best place to be. So welcome to Thursday night on the Bravo with Sheila Network with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. You know what we do here, and we appreciate your presence. If you would not mind, please, ma'am, please, sir, hit that thumbs up button, smash it, but not to the point where it pops off, because we want you to be able to use it again. But we appreciate you taking the time to hit that. That really helps us out, and it blesses us along the way. So again, welcome in, everyone. Come on, say hello in the chat. If you are in the building, we want to greet you properly. And while we give you a moment to do so, I just want to thank you all for tuning in, for being consistent watchers, our bravettes and our brave brothers. We at the Bravo with Sheila Network appreciate you. And as always, we give homage to the curator of this amazing space, none other than Pastor Sheila Ingram herself, and we appreciate her ever so very much. We are glad that she yields this captain's chair to me every Thursday night so I can spend the next 60, 90, 120. Y'all know how we do. Thursday nights take on a life of their own. So who knows? But we're glad that we are here to have great conversation with you guys. We are never here to convict nor to convince, but we are here to have real conversation with real people and real resolutions. While some of us are experts at what we do have licensed counselors, therapists, ministers, elders. We have it all here. It's one-stop shopping pretty much. But on Thursday nights, when we come together, we kind of lay our titles to the side and we just want to be us, if that's all right. If we could have real talk without having to counsel and therapize, that's not even a word, but we're going to use it on tonight, okay? If we don't have to do the therapeutic stuff, okay? I don't want to be the therapy deputy on tonight. Can we just talk? Can we just keep it real? Can we just be people? Can we just be? Because sometimes we get wrapped up in all the technicalities of things that we are not honest and real about what we really feel, what we deal with, and what we go through. So on tonight, Thursday nights, we keep it raw, we keep it real, we keep it 1,000% and then some. It is not one voice, one sound. We are welcoming and open to everyone's thoughts, feelings, opinions, whatever your moral compass is. We encourage you to engage in the chat. Please share your thoughts, your feelings, and we receive them. Our number one rule here is respect. Now, while most of us, I would say, on the Bravo squad, who come on the panel, our staff most of us are believers. So our moral compass is God. However, this is not a Christian network. So we are not here to talk Jesus. This is not church. No offense, Lord, but he knew what he was doing when he set us in this space. So we're not coming to talk church, although if that's what you do, because I'm a God's girl. So you're going to get a little Jesus when you get me every time. But whatever your moral compass is, we welcome you to share from that well of experience, from your place of understanding. And we appreciate everyone's comments. Again, we just ask that everyone would be respectful in the chat and on the panel. However, if disrespect is found anywhere, unfortunately, we will have to have the greatest moderator to ever do it in these YouTube streets, Lady Anae, who is in the building. She will gently escort you. She's our usher. So she will gently escort you out of the comment section, because we do like to keep our space integral and we like to make sure that it is safe for everyone. But however, we do want you to engage. Feel free to share. Let's just do so respectfully. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree, but our truth is our truth. So that's what we wanted to share just to open up on tonight. I want to also invite you to join us on Monday nights for Monday Beyond the Mic, where Dr. Elaine and me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, we get on and we talk relationship talk. Monday nights is a whole different night. We're much calmer, a little more orderly. And then Thursday nights is like Monday night on steroids. So we're going to be free to chat it up on tonight. Also, if you are in need of any spiritual guidance, encouragement, prayer, a word, you can go right across the street. Doesn't matter which way you go, you're going to find it, to the Sheila Ingram Network. And over there, we have a host of spiritual encouragement led by Pastor Sheila Ingram herself. She has the Kabod, where she shares through meditation, through song, through prayer, through the word. Also, you have my mama, the woman who pushed me out. I'm her 404. Pastor Rosa, who comes on every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Also, we have the Women of Grace, who come on at 11 a.m. on Fridays. So tune in, tap in, get all that you need. Even if you can't be there in person, you can always catch the replay on any of these platforms. The only thing we ask that you to do, if you don't mind, is again to hit that thumbs up button, because it helps us out. We appreciate it so very much. And then go ahead and subscribe. You might as well subscribe, because you ain't gonna want to be nowhere else but right here, because we have a good time here. We keep it real and raw. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, so that when we do go live, when there is a show, you'll be informed and you will be able to tune in or tap in. So I believe that's all of our governing announcements. So I want to kind of get into our conversation on tonight. I'm excited because this is a part 2, and we have some extra people in the building on tonight, and I cannot wait to bring them on up and in. So before we do that, I do want to just go over into the comments and let's see who's in the building tonight. Again, the greatest moderator to ever do it in these streets, Lady Anae Kenya, is in the building. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. And we also have, y'all know him. He's a part of the fixtures here now. Sir Eric is in the building. He's saying good evening to all. We have the curator of this amazing network, Pastor Sheila herself. She says blessings, everyone. And amen. We have Gospel Guidance Global Ministries in the building. Hey, Lady Dawn. Hey, Gospel Guidance. How you doing? Thank you. Pastor Shanks, is good to see you. So thank you for the link yesterday. Finally, I'm sorry, sir. Even though I have shared it, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later. It's all good. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Dr. E, I was just talking about my Monday night partner. She is the host. I'm her co-host. We like Batman and Robin on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Dr. E, you know her, you love her, is in the building. It's good to see you, sis. It's okay, Pastor Shakes, you know how we do. All right. Because I didn't tell you about Monday night. I was just trying to get you to Thursday first, sir. But now that you're here, you get to learn all of the things, see? And of course, who do we have in the building? None other than I call him the bishop. Patrick Riley is in the house. It's good to see you, sir. Hallelujah and glory to the God that we serve. To the bishop in the building. He's going to laugh. He's going to say he's not the bishop, but I call him that. Uh-oh, now hold on. The world has to stop, because my mama, none other than Pastor Rosa, is in the house on tonight. Hi, mommy. Y'all know how I do. I get excited. She's my queen. That's my girl. And I'm glad she is here. We got Coach Theo in the house. Saying happy Thursday. All right, mom. She said your computer's not behaving. It's okay. That's all right. You here. That's why I call him the bishop. It is what it is. So on tonight, y'all, thank you all for joining, tuning in, listen, share with someone, get them into this conversation, because in the month of July, we have been talking about family matters. Now, y'all know here on Thursday nights when we have a theme, a topic, or a subject, it is never just as clean cut, cookie cutter as we, as we put it out there. So we're talking about family matters, but we want to talk about the things that happen in families. Sometimes it's like, well, what is the matter? Why can't we all just get along? I mean, after all, we are family, right? Right. So on tonight, y'all know last week, excuse me, y'all, I'm gonna govern myself. I must be excited today. It's been a long day. I'm just glad y'all are here. But on last week, we talked about blended families, and I had my family come on and share how we do it. My ex-husband, his beautiful wife, and we talked about how we have navigated these streets from divorce to being one cohesive family, and we all get along, and it's all love, and it's pure, it's genuine, and it's real. We don't falsify nothing. We keep it all together. We talk it out. And we know that that is not for everyone, and trust and believe it was not an easy place to get to, but we got there with the grace of God. So on tonight, what we're going to talk about to add on to that point of blended families and how we get along, we are bringing back the author of the book that we shared last month for Men's Month. June was lit. The men, I got to give it to y'all, men. Don't tell nobody. Please don't share, because I don't want nobody to feel slighted. But men, y'all showed up in the month of June, like for real. Y'all did your thing. I ain't mad at you. Every month could be June if you ask me. Okay, I'm being a little biased, but yeah, but y'all did your thing. The men showed up, they showed out, and last month we had author Melvin Phillips of this amazing book, collaborator of this book, I'm Divorced, Now What? Okay, y'all see that there? All right, come and share with us what prompted this book and kind of guided us through some of the things in this book. We don't want to give it all away because we want you to go buy the book. So it was so good, we had to have him come back and do a part 2 for Family Matters. But the beautiful thing is he is not here by himself. He has one of the lovely co-authors of this amazing book with him. So I'm going to bring them up. So y'all make sure y'all greet them now. I don't have to tell you how to act, Bravo Nation. We know what we do. Let's keep it 100, keep it how we do. So you know how it is. I'm going to bring the peoples up. And I just want to welcome to the stage. Welcome back. He is no stranger, because one time you a visitor, next time you family. So you fam now. He's in the group. He's in the squad. My friend, that dude, that guy. And I got to say, I'm New York all day, every day. I'm a Bronx girl. But something about the Brooklyn brothers, they got a different kind of swag. They hold it down a little different. So we want to welcome to the platform on tonight the collaborator of this book, Melvin Phillips, is in the house. So y'all greet him on tonight. Works good, Melvin? How are you?
So D, I'm good. I forgot. I was in the workout. I said, "Oh,
it's okay. You good?"
Yeah. I'm trying to wind down right now because
I get you. You hyped up. It's all right. It's okay. You might need to stay in that hype spot. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure.
crazy. I totally forgot. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all right. You good to you here to share the good stuff. So the good 411 on this amazing book and how it came about. So we glad to have you here. So glad that you remembered and you in the house. So that's all that really matters. We ain't gonna penalize you. We're not gonna hold it against you. Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. But I want to thank you for coming, and I also want to thank you for inviting and bringing one of the amazing co-authors of this book. She is new to the platform, but I hope this won't be her last time coming and joining and sharing. I feel like she got something to say. I was reading part of her chapter, and I'm like, oh, okay, sis, I got you. Me and my yellow highlighter was having a little bit of fun. So, I appreciate her presence. She is, and correct me if I say your name wrong, because I want to make sure I pronounce people's names right. She is Jamara Schofield, and we're going to bring her up. Welcome in, sis. Welcome in.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. And it's Jamara.
Jamara. Thank you.
Yes.
Please do not be shy to correct me because I want to call you by your right name and pronounce it
Thank
the way
you.
your mama meant. Okay.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Jamera. Welcome in. Thank you for coming and being willing to share with us on tonight about this book. So we don't really, I honestly don't have any notes. I like to have free flowing conversation. So I don't want y'all to feel what Mel knows. I don't want y'all to feel like it's not an interview, but we talking. We just gonna talk in this space if that's all right with y'all. I want you to feel free to share. And then we have part of our Thursday night squad. They are in the lounge. We're going to bring them up in a little bit. But I wanted to give you guys some space to talk and to share to begin with. And our wonderful moderator, Anae, has already put into the chat how you can purchase this book. I'm telling y'all, go and get it. Go get it now. If you haven't gotten it, go get it. You can also get it at bookpatch.com, but you can order it from Barnes and Nobles. Let's support these authors, and I'm sure that they will be more than happy to come and share their stories, this book on other platforms and in other places as well. So y'all be ready to load them up. Okay. Y'all be ready to get them booked and busy. Okay. All right, y'all. So I just want to ask, so we're going to kind of pick up where we left off, but I do want to ask Mel first, if you could just give us a little recap for those who may not have been on the first time or heard, what made you write this book, pull this book together, feel that this book was necessary to put out?
All right, let me woosah a minute. Um, get my thoughts together. What made me write the book? Once again, some people that have been in transitional divorces, some of my friends, some of my homies actually have didn't know what to do after their divorce to start over. And so they felt like they was in a rut. Some of us messed up, some of us assumed, us just, like, okay, I'm outside. I'm out here. What else is there to do? Because I've been in this marriage for a certain amount of time, and I did this, and I know the way of living with someone, and da 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 da, the whole theatrical thing. But what came to my mind is that there's still life after divorce. You feel me? And there's still things that you have to accomplish, that you have to do. And I believe there's still other mates out there that, since you have grown now, some people have grown now into what they have accepted and what they have did. And since God is a forgiving God, and you repented and you did what you did, it's a chance to move on now, to start a new chapter in your life. Some people ain't going to forgive you right away. Some people will forgive you. Some people won't, however it may be. But you need to start. It's about you. You need to start a fresh new outlook in your life now. That's what made me start. So I looked at myself and be like, all right, let's get this on the ball. I can't beat myself up for certain things that I did and certain things that she did, because it take two. So, but it was what it was.
True. And you're so right. One of the things that I love about it is the fact that you don't hear a lot of men talking about divorce or hearing divorce from the men's perspective, from the men's side. Most men just go silent because they don't feel that there's a place for them. Men already feel like they're never heard. Like there's nowhere that y'all can talk. Y'all don't have no safe spaces. So for you to come together, for you to even put your thoughts together down into this book, number one, was amazing to me. And that was one of the first things that I loved about it. Second of all, is the content of this book. I'm telling y'all, go get it. The way the chapters, there's like 10 amazing chapters in this book. And it's important that we pause after divorce to know that there is life after divorce, just like there was before the marriage. Divorce is the death of a thing, of a relationship. But if you think about how many other relationships, this is not your first breakup. This is probably the hardest breakup, because it's a different level of commitment. But it's not the first breakup we ever endured, And so tonight, what kept sticking with me is the now what part, not so much the divorce, because when that's final, that's final. It's just done. But a lot of us we get stuck in that space with like you said, the now what. Now is peeling back the layers of all the things that was my life. Now, how do I create a new life?
Right. Yeah, I said sometimes my new method and I had to change my wording, people would be like, well, my heart was broken. My heart was broken. My heart was damaged. My heart was blown up. All this stuff, and a friend of mine revamped my speech of the heart was never broken. It was just formed out of shape. It was never broke. So now you have to put your heart back into the shape of as a heart, as we qualify it physically as a heart, and and regroup and re refocus. Start loving you more. Start acting like you are somebody. People get lost after divorce. Some people I have seen and I have known till this day right now. I could call a friend right now and they're still on that couch. They still I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to do nothing, bro. I'm good. Well, I'm nobody out there for me. And I'm like, and so I don't want to take too much energy off me, throwing it on him. So most of the time I check on him and stuff like that. But he's in because it really just tore him apart. And of course he was involved with some situations, but she did a lot of damage to him. And she done moved on already. And already have another partner. And he's still twiddling his thumbs. I'm like, bro, all right, you're gonna get it together one day. But when you need me, I'm here. So
Right.
but he think his heart is broken. I keep telling him it's just out of shape. You got to form it. You got to get outside, start doing things. It's in the book too. Get activities, working out, going to the library, going to the park by yourself, going to the museum. Just walk. Clear your mind. See, people don't do that. They think they need to do something to overcome certain things, but sometimes it just take a small thing. Just sit down and write, journalize, write some things down. What should I do? How should I do it? What should not I do? And make it happen. It's just that one step. You do that one step, then that one step becomes 5 steps. That's all. But yeah.
That's true. That's true. And I love that. That's a good practice. I like to say, you talked about the heart, that it was never broken. It just kind of got out of shape. And I had to share with someone. I was doing an interview one day and I told them, one thing I've learned is that our hearts are built with an automatic bounce back. They don't break. They are resilient and they bounce back because you can love again. And actually, you never stop loving. You just have to learn to change the objects that you love. But our heart by default is built to bounce back. It's always going to get up. We are the struggle. We put the pressure in between the incident and the bounce back because we don't want to release our heart back to its thriving place because we don't trust that it's never going to get broken again. But I think that comes with the accountability of us. Like, I got to be careful about whose hands I lay my heart in, And when I start seeing that you're not caring for my heart, it's time for me to start pulling back, So just food for thought, y'all. We just talking. We got Melvin and Lady J up here on tonight, authors of the book, Divorced Now What?
But so, she got a lot to say, Lady J. Oh, yeah.
Listen, we sisters now.
She get to start. I can take me a break. Go ahead, girl. I can take me a break.
Take your breather. I got it.
Yeah, there you go.
I got it from here.
I'm dying of dehydration. I need something to drink. She can take over now. I'm done.
You done? You done here?
Yeah. She can take over the book. She can take over everything right now.
You come back at the end.
That's my sidekick, my sidebar. She can take over, right? She'll take it in. Trust, she'll take it in.
Oh, I trust and I believe this, and I was reading part of her chapter. I'm like, oh, all right, sis, we could talk about this in the DMs. So welcome, Lady J. I want to thank you for coming on tonight, Mel. You know what? Go take your water.
Some water.
I'm back.
Let me ask you. Okay, we'll be here. We're gonna be right here waiting for you. So let me ask you this, Lady J. When this book opportunity came up, what made you want to write your story to share? Because they say not every book is for everybody, and not every book. Because I've co-authored about 7 think 7, 8. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I know the books that come up. Everything doesn't speak to me, so everything is not, or it may not be the time. But what was it about this book and the place in your life that you're at that made that marriage, that fusion, that made you want to put your story in this book?
Honestly, when Mel first asked me, I said no. I didn't. I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think I don't think that's a good idea right now. He asked me again, and I'm like, let me think about it. So then he asked me again. I said, you know what? All right. You want me to write? Here you go.
You got on my
So
now, so you wrote on your nerves. That's what.
you want me to write something? Here you go. Like, that's it. I started writing, and when I got into it, when I wrote it, I said, I'm gonna write this like it's a conversation, me and you talking. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be relatable. If he use it, he use it. If he don't, he don't. But at this point, I'm like, I need to talk. I need to put this on paper to where somebody else can relate to it. Like me and you talking, like, girl, this is what happened. So,
Right.
as I was writing it, though, I felt it was more therapeutic for me, and I said, okay, maybe this is something that I was supposed to do. So at the end of the day, I was glad that I did. I did it. And I was like, but he kept telling me, just write a little bit, just write a little. I'm like, but I got more to say. Hold on.
Asked me to write. Like you trying to stifle me.
Don't cut me off. Like I got more to say. So I honestly, at the beginning, because it was still, I'm 2 years in. I'm 2 years in my divorce. So it's still kind of new.
Yeah.
It's still a little fresh, and I didn't really want to talk about it. But I said maybe this is the best time for me and the best way for me to talk about it.
Yeah. And I think that, and I commend you for that. I really do. And see,
Thank
Mel,
you.
I bet you be mindful next time he asks, about you, asking you 3 times about you writing. Because now you got what you wanted. Now you complaining.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't finished my sentence, sir. You know. But divorce is so personal and it's such a private moment that becomes intrusive because of all the other people that are around us and that are involved and that have become to know us as these great couples, as the great people, this family, and all of that. So taking the time to now sit down and to, I would say, maybe unmask all those things, is a process within itself. And as I was reading your chapter, which is y'all, she is chapter 7. It went down in the DMs. Um, it is such a it's such a sensitive space when we are sharing our story of what happened, the journey of how I went from marriage to divorce. And like you said, you're 2 years in. You haven't been divorced for as long as you've been married yet. So what is your, I want to say, for what you've experienced so far, how are you dealing with your now what on the other side of this?
My now what? At first, well, during the process of the divorce, um, I was scared, of course. I was just very fearful. Not so much fearful of losing my marriage, but fear of the fact that I'm about to be a solo parent, you know? So
Mm,
that was that. So now, where I am now, I've accepted it. I've gotten rid of the embarrassment of it. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed of it. It's not defining me. I don't live by that. It happened to me. It happens to a lot of people. But now I'm in the phase of learning who I am, loving who I am, and loving the new me after this whole shenanigans and went down, and just making sure that I am the best solo parent that my two boys can have. They don't want for nothing. So, that is my focus. My focus is me and my kids. I'm not focused on, you know, what happened. It's okay. It's right now. I'm like, okay, it's no big deal. That happened. It's okay. Um, so, like I said, just more so, refocusing on who I am. What do I like? What do I want to do? What what's my favorite thing to do? What do I mean, going back out into these things, I'm just trying to figure out who I am now. I'm almost there.
Okay, okay, listen, you're doing real good, real good. Let me welcome in some people just for a moment. Welcome in, Mr. Roderick Brown. It is good to see you, darling. I'm so glad you showed up. Thank you for supporting on tonight. Welcome into the building. And Pastor Rosa is saying, "Good evening, Rod." We like to greet one another up in here. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. So tonight, for those who are joining, and those who are up in the silent section, we greet you too. If I forgot to greet you earlier, I apologize. But we greet you too in the silent section. But you can come on down to the chat. Y'all know it's safe. We got security down here, and we want to hear from you in the chat section. So welcome in, and if y'all could just hit that thumbs up button, we would appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind just sharing, inviting a friend. We are here with co-authors Melvin Phillips, and I'm calling her Lady J because I'm not gonna mess up her name tonight. Okay, she's in the building. She's my sister. I'm Lady Joy. She is Lady J, and that's who we are. We twins now. Okay,
Yes, I love that.
twinning. We are talking about their book, Our Divorce Now What? And this is a part two because Mel came on in June, and y'all just had this. I'll tell you, the men just told. I'm stuck in June for real. The men just showed up, showed out, put us to shame a little bit. Maybe we was all gentle with the ladies. In June, the men came in and shut it down. Why? Because something happens when men speak. That is the motto of the Men's Lounge that we have here on Thursday nights. So Lady J was sharing, I was asking her where she is at with her now what, because many of us have been divorced. I've been divorced. All of us are here have been divorced. And I'm going to bring up the panel in a little bit. We have all gone through that stage of divorce. And I found this book to be so interesting and so good. And I wish that I had it maybe when I was going through my divorce. It would have helped because there was a lot of things that I really kept internally. I wasn't talking about. I have the spirit of shutdown. Like I shut down real hard. Like it ain't no talking, ain't no nothing. Like I go straight ice cream cold, and that is not good. It is not healthy. But that was my way of not wanting to deal with it. And my now what was, like you said, similar to what you said, just, and it happened, we're moving on. But for me, I didn't deal with the things that took place. So I was moving on, but I wasn't moving through it. So later on, and it's one thing, this book is so helpful in giving tools and equipping people, because a lot of us don't know how to navigate through divorce, just like we honestly don't even know how to navigate the process of becoming one in marriage. I don't care how many times you've been married, every marriage is different.
Right.
Because it's two different people. And even if you're the same, you're the common denominator in the marriage, you're the version of you that's showing up in your next marriage is not the same one that showed up in the first. One thing that I like that you said, Lady J, when she was talking about her now what, of you focusing on you focusing on your kids, getting to know you. It is so important that we get to know us outside of the title or the responsibility of wife, of husband, of mother, of father, because we lose ourselves in these spaces and we forget who Dawn is. We forget who Mel is. We forget who, Lady J is. We lose ourselves because these things now consume us and become who we are, or they become the primary person of who we are. And in the book you wrote, I'm going to read because I want y'all to get the book. I'm telling you, y'all, go get it. It's good stuff here, right? Welcome in, Lady Ginger Bloomfield is in the building. It's good to see you, sis. Thank you for joining. In the book, in your chapter, down in the DMs, You made the point that I fought and practically begged to keep my marriage together, not because I wanted him, but because I was scared of being alone with two kids. And that is such a good and valid point. And you even mentioned it, just now as you were expressing about you now. A lot of us stay in marriages for the sake of our children. And I think one thing that we have to remember, and I will say this to the people, and I want y'all to chime in your thoughts as well. And I'm going to bring up the panel after this because I want them to share too, because I think this is really good for all of us. When we stay in a marriage for our children, we got to remember that the children are not in the marriage agreement. People don't understand, the children have nothing to do with our marriage. But we make them the focal point. We're doing it for them, but they have nothing to do with this agreement. But two people that sign that paper, that's me and you. The marriage is between us, the family. The family is between the kids. It's with the kids and involves all of that. But the marriage piece is you and I being in covenant. Our kids are a product of that most times. So when we stay in bad marriages or unhappy marriages, unhappy agreements, are we really doing our kids a proper service, or do you think it's being more doing them in just a disservice? Because in panel, I want y'all to get ready to come up too after we share. Because one thing me and my son's father did, my ex-husband, we agreed that we wanted our son to see a healthy relationship between the two of us. And if healthy meant that we had to divorce so he could see that, that's what we wanted him to see, how we get along with each other. Not that we had to be bound in a marriage that was going to be unhealthy and uncomfortable, because we all got to live in this house together. And, we pick up on each other's energy, your spirit. When you come in home and this person is and your spouse is in the house, y'all don't get along no more. And you just mad because why is he breathing? Just why? Why? The way you brush your teeth makes me mad now. You know what I'm saying? And men too. It's why is she here? And these are real, we keep it real here. This is real stuff. It has nothing to do with our kids, but our kids pick up on that, whether we believe it or not. So what are your thoughts? Because it's a real thing. We sacrifice ourselves and we start dying to ourselves, parts of ourselves, just to say our kids have a two-family home. So what are your thoughts, Lady J and then Mel?
My thoughts on that is you have a two-parent household, but there's chaos. You have a two-parent household, but don't nobody like each other. So now the kids are going to school, they acting out because of this two-parent family household, and now they can sense that there's no love. They can see mommy's not being treated well. They can see daddy's not being treated right. He doesn't like coming home to mommy. Mommy doesn't like going home to daddy. So that creates nothing but chaos. And then at the end of the day, you're still raising. You potentially raise bad adults. They end up going out doing X, Y, and Z because they wasn't birthed in, or they didn't live in a home that was built off of love. It was built off of survival. Because now me and you just living here just to survive because we can't do this alone. So right. I hate you, you hate me. Well, let's sit up here and raise these kids. So
nothing worse going to the amusement park. Y'all can't stand each other. Listen, we
stand each other. I don't want to push him off of the ride, but I might.
Listen, that drive to New Jersey to Great Adventure is a good 2 hours, and I can't be. I'm sitting next to you. I won't punch you in your throat while you're driving, but I don't want us to all die.
I'm trying to tell you, we here together, but and the kids can pick up on that. It's been times that my son has picked up, hey, mommy, are you okay? You sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm all right. They know when there's something not right. And then they start internalizing that. So I would always prefer for a child to be raised in love and not in survival.
That's good. That's good. Because they pick up, they're learning how to be in a marriage and in a relationship, and they're going to mimic what they see going to think that this dysfunction, they're not going to label it as dysfunction. They'll label it as normality because this is the exposure that they have to it. So they'll think it's supposed to be like this and shortchange themselves and not shoot for the fullness of what marriage should be, but they'll settle for the brokenness that our marriage is. What you say, Mel?
Oh, he done said it all. Listen, I told you she could talk. She could talk for me. Nah, listen. Um, kid, kids. That's a hard pill to talk about, especially within marriage, because sometimes my aunt said to me a long time ago, which I get a lot of wisdom from a lot of older people, and I love it. You can't split kids apart. You can't cut a kid in half. You take over there, and I'm gonna take over here. You can't do that, and it happens in marriages and divorces. Who they don't know. They still growing. They still immature in their mind. Who should I love? Now, of course, if they with the person, they with the mother more, then of course it's mommy. But if they not around daddy, or if they with daddy more and the mommy, like, should I or shouldn't I? So it's like, and you try to tell the truth and you try to explain to them, which they still kind of young. Like my girls during my divorce, I know they still love me. I do. I know they still love me, but I know their mother with her actions. And sometimes we got to be careful with that, with her actions, or whoever she talked to over the phone, or she says something out the way. Now, I big it up to some of the women that don't even say nothing crazy around their kids, because now it brings another layer of, oh, daddy did that, mommy did that. I don't like them. I hate them because they did that to my. So sometimes you got to be careful with that, because um, in that area, it's a thin line. You're walking on thin ice, because you said it again, Dawn. You and your ex had to come to some type of agreement, even though y'all didn't make it to the finish line. But y'all still are great parents. Y'all great friends. Your son sees it. He respects it with the utmost, and he still loves y'all with the utmost love. Like he loved mommy, I love daddy the same way. You see what I'm saying? So that's a great blessing. With some others, it's not like that. I see people walk on the other side across the street, and they son and daughter was right there. I said, "You don't." They're like, "Nope, we don't talk because of the mother, because of the father," and it's sad, and it hurts,
Right.
and it's disgusting. At some point, when are we going to get to the point of, you know, of course, women mature faster than men, but when are we going to get to the point when the men mature and be like, listen, this got to stop. I got to. If let's talk it out. We can try to make it to. If you need help or something, let's try to help each other so we can raise these kids in a proper manner, so we can love them in a proper manner. Not sow discords amongst them and split them, and you take that one over there and take, like, you can't do that. But then it's just different levels. Then some people have to just leave things in God's hand with kids and stuff. Like, okay, the mother got them. She's saying all this stuff. I can't do nothing. God, you the control of this, because I did the best that I know how. Or if the father got them and the mother trying, God, you got to take control, and you just got to leave it in his hands. You can't keep killing yourself or stabbing yourself, because eventually, my bishop had told me this. Eventually, they're gonna come around. They're gonna want answers. Everybody want answers. Some ain't gonna get some, but we want answers. What happened? Like, why did you do that? Can you explain to me? I'm not mad. I'm not sad. But why? Explain to me. And I did that part to my kids. I explained to them how the divorce went and everything. And some areas daddy was out of order. In some areas, I don't know if your mother told you, but I'm gonna tell you my part. I was out of order in some areas. And I hope she said the same thing to them, not to look like Miss Perfect. But if she did, that's so fine too. But daddy did this. Daddy did that. I hope you forgive me. I hope do you still love me? And they said, oh, Dad, please. And came and gave me a hug, kissed me on my lips, all that. Daddy, we love you. But then want to dig in my pockets and be like, Daddy, all right, you got this for me? Because I need to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that was easy high. That was easy high. But, we're different levels, man. So you really have to pray, man. And really let God take the wheel on that sometimes, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's not an easy thing when kids are involved. And I think, it's a point of I would explain to my son what was age appropriate for him. You know,
Mm,
I never came back to him with the answer, "You're too young to understand," because
mm,
that doesn't help. It
Right.
actually breeds resentment in them. It pushes them away. So I
Mm-hmm.
would
right.
went for as much as I could that was appropriate for his age. And I never said anything negative, you know, about his father or towards his father, because you can be a great parent and a horrible spouse.
Right.
Amen.
And I didn't
Right.
want to infect him with my issues because, you know, again, like you said, it takes two people. You know, there was just certain things that I just was not ready to do at that time. It was like I didn't want to. I didn't want to
That's
do
right.
it. I didn't want to fix it. I wasn't equipped to do it. I was just like, you know what? I don't even know. And I've said this several times. It was like, you know, I had to get to the point where admit, and when I got to the point of being honest with myself, and I said, it's not that I don't want to be here. I don't know how to. I don't know how to. I don't know how to remain in this marriage. Like I don't know,
Mm.
you know, and that was a hard thing for me. And then explaining to my son, you know, but I had to tell him my side again. So we have to be willing to be honest with our kids for what they can handle. And I'm like, listen, you gonna see who your daddy is, just like you gonna see who your mama is. I ain't got to tell you nothing about me. You about to learn me really well. You
Yeah.
know, and I tell them there's a difference between mommy and Dawn. We're two different people.
That's right.
So what you need from me as mommy is different from what other people need from me as Dawn. So, you know, I think it's important. And when we're talking about this space of, you know, I'm divorced now, what? And in that divorce period, and like you said, Lady J, about, you know, being scared to be alone with two kids, that's a real thing that we don't talk about. So I appreciate you for bringing that up in the book. I'm going to read some comments and then bring up our panel. Zen just says, kids won't fix your marriage and may instead share in your misery. They absolutely do, like we were saying, because they feel just what we're going through. They feel that tension. They don't feel love in the house. They feel whatever the spirit of that house is. And whatever we put in the atmosphere is what they feel. They're going to learn how to be at war in their home and think that their home is not supposed to be peaceful. You know, so it's like we have to mind what it is that we're passing down, you know. But the fact that you were able to be honest and transparent about that is just such a strong, I think, such a strong and profound point, you know, that people need to stop and think about as we are considering this path of divorce, and just be clear on why you're divorcing. You know, don't be afraid. Be afraid, but do it anyway if it's for the better health of the family. You know, my mama says, Pastor Rosa says, you don't know until years later that you could have left, but it's the security for your children that is the issue. I wish I thought like that at that time. Now that's my mom, y'all, my real mom. Like, she pushed me out. I'm her 404. She is my mama. I'm her child. I got to make it clear to y'all. And the reason why I'm stressing this and this point with her comment is because me and my mom had this conversation many years ago, and made the point that she stayed in the marriage. Similarly, Lady J, because of the same concern like you had in your book, and there was four of us, and
Mm.
she stayed in the marriage, and she'll always say, because my kids needed somewhere to stay, my kids needed to
Mm.
make sure my kids had, because my father was the provider, my mother didn't work, not that she couldn't, but she did what she needed to do as, you know, as a mother and a wife. She held it down for real. Like, we was changing our clothes 2 or 3 times a day. Like, she doing laundry, telling us to come downstairs. You just put on clean clothes to go outside and play. You had to go downstairs to the laundromat, wash up again, change your clothes, because she was just on her job, you know. So she sacrificed herself to stay in a marriage that was eating her alive as a person for the sake of her children, so that her children could have. And I was like, lady, listen, because, you know, my mom is my bestie, so that's how we talk. You know, like, ma'am, girl, let me tell you something. I don't know how you did that, because it couldn't have been me. I was out, you know. And she said to me, I couldn't have did what you did. I couldn't have left like, I didn't, you know. So we were looking at it from the outside of each other. We both made a choice for different reasons, and we did the opposite. And I looked at her, I admired her for staying. I thanked her, you know, because it was because of her that me and my brothers and sisters we had. But I was like, I don't know that I could die to something. Like, when I started feeling I was losing me, I was like, I can't. I don't know how to get out of this. And my mother said, like I said, the same thing. Like, I didn't know how to stay. I didn't know how to go. You didn't know how to stay. So, it's just timing, and we have to do what we have to do for us, what's best for us and what we feel. And I don't think it's necessarily a right or wrong, because we all do what we feel is best in that moment, and we do what we need to do to survive for the betterment of everybody. Gospel guidance, Pastor Shank says, soon we have to ask ourselves, who am I now that they are gone? That's a good question. That's the part of the now what that we want to talk about. So I'm going to come back to that question in a moment. Zinja says, it's better to part while there is still love rather than let it evolve into hatred. That is true. No one parent is better, and co-parenting no, when one parent is bitter, excuse me, and co-parenting impossible. It does make it very impossible when you have that bitterness. We're supposed to be making it easy. And that's another thing, like, Mel was saying, when you start pitting the kids, against each other, don't let your bitterness because the marriage or the relationship didn't work be what now starts detachment in a relationship between, like, don't use your kids. You said women mature faster than men. However, women are, I'm gonna say it this way, so y'all forgive me or maybe not forgive me. For church folk, forgive me, but I'm just gonna keep it real. Women may mature faster than men, but women are as petty as hell. And we will, that's just the truth. For all the maturity that we have ahead of time, we are as petty as hell, and we will use that, which is
go ahead. Yeah.
It is. I'm just saying what it is. Sorry, ladies, y'all can't kick me out of the girls' club. I've born into it, so it's too late. We got to put it together in that area. We keep it real here. Global guidance. Pastor Shank says, I have books that I would like to get published. So I'm asking who did they use to get their books in Barnes & Noble. Oh, okay. All right. I'll hit you up, Pastor Shanks, and get you that information. I got you covered. I understand now. Sorry about that. Dr. E says, hurt people. And that's true. But you know what? That I feel like that when we use that comment, it's such an excuse and an escape, because hurt people don't have to hurt people. It's like, I'm hurting, and why I don't want everyone to feel like I'm feeling. Like, I want to be the last person that experiences this kind of hurt. So I want you to be better.
But I'm gonna say it like this. Some people that don't know they're hurting other people because they're hurting. So I don't think some people go in the mindset, because I'm hurt, let me go and hurt Jamira. Let me go and hurt Dawn. No, I'm hurting, but I'm just lashing out my hurt on you. So now you're hurting. So it's a trickle effect. Now it's an attack spirit that, well, dang, what the heck? So I'm just bugging out. I'm just busting loose. I'm just spat crashing out. You know what I mean? Because I'm hurting, but I don't know how to control the hurt. I don't know. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm basically not really venting, but I'm just getting it, lashing all out at both of you guys or anybody else, or my ex-wife or my wife that was, or whatever. And I'm just expressing the hurt, how I'm hurting, but it's not intentional that you just go and just, well, let me speak for me, because some people do. I never had the intention on hurt. That's how I got out my frustration and anger. Like, are you serious? You talking crazy right now? Like, and just went. And it took me a long time because she was pressing that button. And then my kids saw it, because we never really argued in front of my kids. And it was like, because daddy got three sides to him. Like, I went, and then I had to walk out the door, because it was just, and that's what I used to do when I got heated, and I ain't go nowhere, nothing. I probably sat on the car door, went down 2 blocks to my neighbor house or whatever, and just chill. Tell me come pick it up, and I'm just so I could get it all out, so I could go back in or go downstairs to the basement and just woosah. But it's not. I think it trickles on when you don't know how to deal with it, and you're not really going to hurt that person, but you just frustrated, you tired, you exhausted. You done went to every area of the 4 corners that you can try. And so now you done push the alarm button, and I'm about to get lit. There's no other doing. So I just gotta break out. I gotta break out. And so that's what happens. But I don't believe in the hurt people. I just people don't know that they're hurting the other person. You don't know how sensitive they are. You don't know what they was trying to assume or figure out. You just don't know certain things until later on. And that's one thing that needs to be done is conversation. And I know most people as church folks on here, even the church, because some people do stuff for the church or what the church gonna say or the bishop, the pastor, how to feel. Should I do this or should I do that? Because you're a family church and you and this and that. I got married over here and what they're gonna think of me now and all things run through people's minds of what people gonna say and feel because you have a church family also besides your immediate family. And so it's a ball game. It's a playoff game. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to figure this out. Because other people came to me, still come to me. How's your wife? I be busting out laughing. How's your wife doing? I be like, and I just look at her. I'm like, Lord, be in church and I don't want to lie, but I'll be like, oh, she fine. Because I don't want to go into it. I don't want to say the whole, well, guess what happened? Like, come here, let me talk to you. Not because it ain't none of their business, but, and that's good because some people, they ain't in other people's business. They come to church and they leave, but they're like, oh, I see your wife. How's she doing? Because I just see you coming to church. How's the kids? And they fine. They all right. they have another ministry. You feel me? So sometimes I just be busting out laughing. I'll be like, it'd be so funny. I just be like, but listen, that just had me die. But it happens. It is what it is, man. But we just got to be careful of how we, in front of our kids, how we, and I did it plenty of times. I went in the room as a man and cried out tears. My daughter's be in the next room. And I'm asking God, and I already knew I didn't want the marriage no more. And I'm bending down on my knees, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I do to it comes to this point? Why do I deserve this? And I'm not saying her, because it wasn't about her. And what I want men to get to understand when you in a position, because sometimes men don't let women in, and I get it, y'all, but sometimes it's about you. You have to really take an example and take criticism of yourself and look in the mirror and be like, why did I detour? Why did I say that when I said that? Why didn't I tell her when I should have told her? It could have handled better and stuff, or maybe she couldn't handle that at all. But why couldn't I just been honest on how I really felt? And so it would have been more respect of her respecting me because I came to her. And so she's like, okay, now what we gonna do? Or how we gonna fix this? Which me instead of hiding my feelings in my heart and my thoughts and taking it elsewhere to another woman and doing other stuff with other women that don't even give, excuse my French, two damns about me, or I don't give two damns about them, and then coming back home and it's just a whole mess, the spirits all over the place. It's just, and I had to value that. I had to do an evaluation. I had to move away. I had to do a cleansing. I had to do a lot of stuff because I said it majority was me. It was me, Lord, and I know you was me because you created me, but it was me. I should have went down that road. I should have did this, and different stuff. And so now that I came to my senses, even though she had did some stuff too that I wanted God to correct her on, but I'm not God, and God know how to, God do what He need to do with her. So, but it was about me. It was about me throwing my hands up, opening my heart, and a cleansing every day. You know what I'm saying? A cleansing every day because I don't want nobody else to go through that transition. As a brother of mine or as a woman friend of mine. And it's not about signs. You have to converse. Got to conversate. Got to talk. And if they don't want to talk right now, I'm gonna give it some time for them to talk. Okay, because they're gonna talk. Eventually, they're gonna talk, and it's gonna be a conversation.
They're gonna talk to somebody somewhere at some point. And you made a good point, and thank you for bringing that perspective, brought balance, to the conversation, and to the comment about hurting people hurt people, you know. And it's so true. And even just what you shared through that journey and that cycle, it gets back to the point, like we were saying, about how you talking about what you was bringing back into the home, and your kids are there, and they can pick up, even if they don't know exactly what it is, but they can sense what this unrest is that's in the house, that's in the air, you know. That you're loved. Someone asked, it was on a live, and someone asked, how do you know when you're loved? And it brought me to the thought, and I don't know if it's a quote, I'm not sure who said it, but I've heard it said, you know you're loved when you feel loved. That's how you know. Um, and with that being said, when you come into a loving home, when you feel the love in the home. And when you come in and love is not there, our kids pick up on it. Just like they are not blind. So, we have to be really careful about what we bring in to the atmosphere. Welcome in, Big Brother Rock Nobles is in the house tonight. He's a part of our men's lounge. And so we appreciate him being in the building. My sis, Elder T, is in the building. She says, evening all. So glad to see you. Pastor Shank says we have to heal from our past so we don't repeat it. Amen and amen. But before we can heal from our past, we got to admit our hurt. And that's what a lot of us don't do in divorce. Divorce is a journey that continues even after those papers are signed. That hurt still lingers, and you got to admit that you're hurt. So I want to bring up part of our Thursday night squad so they can start joining us in this great conversation. Thank you to Mel and Lady J in the building tonight. We are doing part 2 of What? I'm Divorced, and we are talking about the now what? Now what? And Lady J wrote an amazing chapter in here talking about it went down in the DMs. I'm trying to tell y'all, go get this book. It's going to help you. Even if you are in a healthy marriage, go get this book. Y'all read it together, because there's some tips and things in here that's going to help you along the way in the marriage, in the relationship, that maybe might send up some yellow flags or some white or some pink ones. Don't wait till it gets red. Let's try to stop them at the pink flags so that we can salvage the marriages or salvage the relationship. Sometimes you got to pause where you're at before we go forward, and it's okay to do that. So I want to bring up to the platform to join us in this great conversation tonight. Sir Eric Swinton is in the building. Come on up, E. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm great. How are y'all this evening?
So we're wonderful, Bishop. How are you?
Right.
I'm fine. We're not doing this tonight.
Was it just me, or did he have his preacher voice? Is that what it is? That
This is my voice every day, Dawn. Stop.
okay? I'm sorry. All right, my bad.
You know.
I
Good evening, Melvin. Good evening,
Hey.
Jamira. Am I saying that correct?
Jamera.
Jamira.
Yes.
Good evening. Nice to meet you.
Good evening. Likewise.
So, E, you have been listening in, and I believe Coach Steele was in the building. Hopefully, she'll be back. But so far from what you've heard, come on and share and tap in. Tell us your thoughts on what we've discussed so far. What say you, as we say on Monday nights?
Well, from my perspective, yes, it's not a good idea because you're having problems with your marriage, to show that in front of your kids. The kids are not a part of the problem that you're having. You have to sit down with your spouse and try to work through the problems. With me and Dawn, it was a little bit different. We got through it. After we got divorced, I went to a therapist, to be honest, and everything, and I'm still seeing a therapist today, not just because of the marriage, just because of different things that went on after the marriage. Like my grandmother passing, my aunts passing, my uncle passing, my mother passing, my sister passing, all that stuff, builds up. So yes, I do have my own personal therapist that I do see and I speak to. I work in a hospital, so I just drop in anytime I want to and set up an appointment and go and sit down and speak with them, as well as we have grief counseling once a month. So we can do the grief counseling where we can get stuff off our chest as well. Um, and to the men, it's nothing embarrassing about it when it comes to getting help. You need to work through your issues. So you need to see a therapist to help you work through those issues. Whether it be a therapist at your job, if you have that at your job, a spiritual therapist at your church, what have you, whoever you need to confide in to help you work through the issues. I could not confide in any of my single male friends because of the fact that they weren't married. So I can't confide in somebody that that never been through what me and Dawn have been through. Been going through a divorce. Can't talk to a single person. So that's why my therapist is a married therapist, divorced person, however you want to call it. They were married, divorced, married again, so forth. So they have that experience. So the kids can suffer during the marriage, but like Dawn said, certain things you can tell your children and certain things you can't tell your children. Our son is 23 now. So if he had questions now, we can sit down and talk to him about it. And it's kind of funny because my daughter just said to me, because she got married the Saturday. I mean, not married. I'm sorry. She got engaged the Friday before last. And when she came back from St. Louis from meeting her fiance's family, she said she wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation with me because she wanted to know what happened between me and her mom and so forth. And I kind of chuckled and I said, well, you need to have that conversation with your mother first because it's her side, my side, and the truth. So have that conversation with your mother first. And then you let me know whatever your mother said. I'll fill in the blanks. If it's not true, it's not true. But I said, if you want my truth, I'm going to give you my truth. And that's all I can do. But, the proof is put. So I'm not gonna berate her mom or anything like that. I just said, you'll put two and two together. You'll see what happened over the last 28 years and so forth. It is what it is. Or I have a better relationship with Dawn than I did with her mom because me and Dawn communicate. I can't have that communication with her mother because of the stuff that she did. And some of the stuff is, uncomfortable. So I just don't bother with it. I just let it be. And also, yeah. So I've never let that be seen in front of my daughter. Me and my daughter's grandmother had a good relationship. Her grandmother would call me and be like, E, come over to the house, come see her, and so forth. You can come see Steph anytime that you want. I got her. And so forth. So she let me come over to the house and see her. She let me take her out for ice cream or whatever the case may be and stuff like that. Just spend time with my daughter. So you gotta be able to keep that relationship with your child, and you gotta try to have some sort of balance. Even if you and your wife get divorced, you gotta have some sort of balance so the kids don't get affected by it. My son, for years after me and Dawn got divorced, was doing stuff to try to get me and her back together. Just wanting us to spend time together and so forth. And I had to explain to him, I'm like, look, the stuff that you're doing is not healthy, Jay. It's not. Your mom has gone on with her life. I've gone on with mine. And we both love you. And we both do not want to see you hurt by anything. But, as you get older, you're going to understand better. Yeah. And so forth. And me and him had that conversation. And he's like, nah, I see what you was trying to tell me when I was younger, Dad. And so forth. Because he gave us hell.
That's a whole nother show. That's
yeah.
Whole nother show. But it is true. And thank you for lending to the point and to the question. it is true there were certain times within that separation or divorce time that we had to come together as do family things for the sake of ourselves. He was young, so I think it's also a matter of the age, because there's a sense of normalcy as you're now unpeeling this, you're unpeeling the layers of family that you built up forward. Now you have to peel them backwards, and you got to be really gentle about it when it comes with kids. So there were times we still like, okay, we still both attended everything with him with school. We still both attended, we still went to the same church. We still, did certain things. Certain times, I think I want to say maybe once a month, and it may not have been that calculated, but we would do something together, like the three of us, even if it was for a little while, just for his sake. So again, your point in the book, Lady J, is so key. There's so many angles to that sentence that you made, that people really have to think about what's best and what's in the best interest of everyone. And I just want to say, welcome in, everybody. We are talking tonight with the co-authors of this amazing book, I'm Divorced, Now What? And they are sharing with us. Go get it. You can get it in Barnes and Nobles. You can get it on bookpatch.com. And we just want to share some good tips, information with all of you as we are talking in this month of July about family matters. And divorce affects everyone. I do want to say, and yes, thank you again, E, for sharing. Therapy and Jesus are important. I believe coffee, therapy, and Jesus. Okay, is important. That's the segment that we did. I'm gonna bring it back. Sometimes I need a little coffee, sometimes I need a little therapy, because the therapy handles my natural, and Jesus will deal with my spiritual. But you definitely need all three. They go hand in hand. And just to be clear, he's going to therapy. I just want to make sure y'all heard him right. He's not going to therapy because of me. It wasn't me.
No.
I just want to put it out there. I'm not saying that you said that. I just want, because people hear what they hear. So I just want you to know it's not because of me. Okay, no. I didn't say him there. He's going on his own. That's no step. And truth be told, I went to therapy too. I went to therapy afterwards. Theo is back. All right, Theo. Well, looking for you, sis. Thank you, Coach Theo. She's laughing. Yeah, it's not my fault. Because listen, I'm just saying, I don't want people thinking, I didn't send nobody nowhere. I'm just saying, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. But it's good. But coffee, therapy, and Jesus will take you a long way. Or whatever your beverage of choice is. I'm just saying, hey, fill your cup. Fill your cup. Right. It could be ice cream. Could be ice cream and Jesus. Whatever you need to put in your cup, salute to you. But get it and get some therapy and get some Jesus. Okay, we have a few comments, and then I want to share on another point. And Lady J, because I think she touched on it tonight also. And I tell you, God works in such a special way, because two of the things that you said in your opening statement are two of the very things that I highlighted in your chapter. So I'm like, okay, God, I was reading right. I was listening, Lord. I was listening. He says, hurt people aren't trying to hurt people, but they do because they need to heal. And that hurt has become a part of their character. And that's true, and I think that's part of what Mel was saying also. And I want us to say this because he brought up the church, also. And we're all of us are not church. Everyone that watches, the network or is a part of the Bravo Nation are not believers. Everyone's moral compass and spiritual beliefs are different. But whatever your moral compass is, lean into that. So when I say coffee, therapy, and Jesus, it's coffee, therapy, and whatever your moral compass is, you put that in there, and that's what you do. But just combine all three. But for us who are believers and who are in the church, let's stop over spiritualizing everything. And I'm saying that, and it may sound crazy, and I'm saying that, and I'm a licensed and ordained elder in my church. I've been to school, been seminary, I've graduated. So trust me, I am all for God. However, we have to stop over spiritualizing everything. Pray on something, pray about all things, yes, but wait for the answer and then act on it. It's not everything is just going to be done for us, mysteriously, like some mystical. It doesn't work that way. We still have work to do, so let's just keep that in mind. Like, we have to partner with whatever our moral compass is to get to our healing. We have to partner with it. And divorce takes time to heal from. And I commend you, Lady J, because I say, in your chapter, I read the timeline and how you broke it down. And in a 6-year marriage, I believe you wrote, and you 2 years into this divorce, sometimes I said, like with any death, I tell people my father died, I think 18 years now. And so people like, you still grieve? Of course there are days when I still grieve my daddy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
In my life, when he's been gone from me for as long as I had him in my life, then talk to me about it's time to stop. But until that time comes, just watch your mouth and talk to me nice, because we built a relationship. It took all of, and I'll be 56 this year. It took all that time to build that relationship, and just like with the marriage. So you being 2 years in the divorce process, girl, you doing all right. You holding it down, keeping it together. And I love it.
Thank you.
Pastor Shank says we have to keep the finger of judgment pointed at ourselves. That's right. It starts with us first because we contributed. It's something I think Mel is having a problem with his connection. Mel, you may have to go out and come back in. I see you spinning a little bit. We definitely want him to come back. But Lady J got it. She's holding it down.
I got it.
Girl, listen, we're going to have just a you segment, okay?
Ooh, don't threaten me with a good time, girl.
I got your email address. We're going to exchange information. We're going to get, it's just going to be us. It's going to be us.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
with you.
Okay. Y'all heard it. So what's going down, y'all? What we have to self-examine because we all lend something to either the building of our relationships or to the breakdown thereof, and what Mel was talking before, and he made mention of, saying like, should I, when you're sharing information, in your frustration and saying, should I share this right now? Should I say this? And when I sometimes just walking out frustrated, and when we withhold how we're feeling from our spouse, from our mates, we are not avoiding it. You're not avoiding hurt. You're just delaying the hurt.
Right.
Because we need to have hard conversations.
Absolutely.
And ladies, we got to learn how to suck it up, and you got to be able to sit in it. You got to be able to learn how to be quiet and sit in what the men are saying. It may not always come across so nice because they're men. They speak differently. They say it with their chest, so we gotta learn how to hear it beyond the rumble of the chest, just say it. Pastor Shane says we have to get out of the victim mindset because a victim is always seeking a villain. That's interesting. They need someone to blame to justify their response to their pain. Rock says absolutely the truth at Global Guidance at Pastor Shanks. Pastor Therapy, that's a new name. Big Bro Rock says therapy plus Jesus equals complete healing. That is the truth. That is the truth. And Taryn says wisdom and strategy. Yes, that was one of the points that was in our Bible study last night. We were talking about wisdom and strategy. You need both. So we hope that this conversation is helping some people on tonight. We are just touching the iceberg. I'm telling you, Lady J is coming back here. I just feel like I just want to keep you for myself. I really do. I just don't want to turn you loose. Another point that you made in this chapter of it went down in the DMs that you also talked about in the beginning of the opening. You said you were sharing again the rundown and the time frame of your divorce, and then you said, but I said all of that. All of what she expressed, and you got to buy the book to know what all of that is that she said, because I'm not going to tell y'all, because I need you to go to Barnes & Noble, and I need you to go to bookpatch.com. We need to figure out maybe how we can even get something going on. We get some autographed copies and stuff like that. We going to work all that out. But she said, I said all of that to say the divorce didn't change me. My divorce woke me up and reminded me who I really was. You mentioned in the beginning that you are at a place where you are finding yourself. I think they both have an internet problem. Lady J disappeared now too. Okay, Mel fell off. Lady J, you still with us? All right. Well, she will be back. Hopefully, Mel will be back. Oh, I do see Mel is back in the building. So wait a minute. Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah, my phone. I had to get my charger.
It's okay. Lady J's might have also. She fell off. She fell off also. It's all
Yeah.
right. That
Hmm.
technology is doing what technology does. We still here. We still holding it down. I was sharing a point that she wrote in the book, as well as something she mentioned in the introduction. You know, when she first came on, about the now what. What is she doing now? And the now what? Oh, and she's back. Here we go.
The devil is busy. I don't know what just happened.
It's okay. He can be busy. So are we. We
They
ain't.
always want to blame the devil. She was following me anyway. They always the devil. The devil ain't do that. She was like, "Oh, where he going? Let me."
The devil is busy. I don't know what happened to my phone connection. What was you saying, Lady Dawn? I am so sorry.
It's
I was
okay.
quiet.
Sis,
You was gone for a long time.
right. We here, sis. Don't worry. You know, we already got we right here. We spinning. It's gonna be the Lady D and Lady J show in a minute.
That's right.
Cause she gonna come back. We gonna have girl talk. She gonna come back.
Yeah, she'll love that. Hey, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, it's going down. I was saying at this point that she made in the book was something that I highlighted and wanted to bring up. And Eric is busy laughing. You know, it's all right. It could be the devil. He could do it. That's all right. We on our job. We ain't scared. He gonna do his job. We gonna do ours. That's how this works. And we win anyway. So you know, so I'm just saying.
That's right.
You know, but I said all of that to say, and I told them y'all gonna have to go get the book to find out what the all of that is that she was talking about, that she was saying. Okay, so I said all of that to say the divorce didn't change me. My divorce woke me up and reminded me who I was. That see here we go again, Mel. I see here we. You was going black. You went to black again. I think it's you. I think it's you.
It be him.
Every time I get to that point, he disappears. Something happens. We're gonna pray over your phone tonight.
That's right. Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
So
It ain't got nothing to do with the devil, Jesus. I just didn't charge it. You know, I'm trying to fix my charger.
Oh
we
Lord.
pray for Lord, touch the charger right now. Hallelujah. Shonda, let it act right. Listen, we put it on everything. So you talked about it. It woke you up and it reminded you who you really are, and that's one of the things that in this cycle of divorce, in this journey of divorce, a lot of us come out changed, and it's not always for the better. You know, we let the one relationship that did not work really kill our heart's desires, kill our willingness to love, kill our want to love another person because we don't want to go. It changes you if you allow it in that way. But I love that you're saying here that it didn't do any of that to you, that it woke you up to who you really are. And I love it because I feel like I've walked in those shoes, because a lot of times we dim our light, we diminish who we are, we shrink, we don't show up in our fullness. One of the things, you know, that I've learned in this, you know, dating today is way different. I feel lost and confused. I'm like, I don't get it. I might be one of these women who end up marrying Jesus at the end of life. I'm not sure. I don't really see that happening, but I'm like, it's scary out here in these streets, you know. But sometimes you come across people who you can't be your full self with, because I tend to hear this thing about, you're intimidating, or what is it? I'm like, I'm not, I'm one of the kindest people you will ever meet. I'm one of the gentlest hearts you will ever, Eric, fix your face. I'm
I'm not doing nothing.
I said I'm one of the kindest. Was it just me am I the only one who saw that?
What? I had a crick in
Said
my
I was
neck
the
just
kindest
now.
people you ever meet, and he drew his neck back into his chest like a turtle.
I had a crick in my neck just now.
Who does that? Don't listen to him, y'all. I am kind. Okay. I am kind. That's why we are friends now. But share with us a little bit about that, because it waking you up to who you really are gives you the opportunity to be all of the things that you have always been. But maybe there's some things that we have shied away from or didn't want to fully come out with and be, because sometimes I know for me, I feel like I might be too, I don't want to come off as too much, and it's just because I have a lot of ambition, like even just podcasting, writing books, my 9 to 5, the different leadership positions that we hold. We are women who are built to do much, and I understand it can be intimidating to some men, but it confuses me because then you're not allowing me to fully be who I am. These things should not frighten you. If anything, I would hope that you would embrace them and be like, yo, that's my lady. Like she, because those skills are skills that I need. Like I need her on my team, because what's going to happen if I'm doing these things just for me? Imagine what happens when I partner with you and I get behind you and help to push and polish your wants, your dreams, because that's what we're built to do. I'm built to be that helper that's suitable to push you where you need to go. Oh, you won't go to the top, my friend. If you want to make kites out of popsicle sticks, I got you. It's gonna be the best popsicle stick kite maker you have ever met. Like you're gonna be number one. So share with us a little bit on that, and then I want you to share also on this point of how did divorce really change you, or did it wake you up? And remind you who you really are. Come on, Lady J.
I feel like when I said that, I knew that my marriage was what really changed me. My marriage was dealing with someone who was maybe not as secure as I thought they were, getting into this marriage, that made me shrink, that made me, take a back seat to everything, that made me change some things up about myself. I didn't go for the things that I desired or start the business that I desired to start because I was told that, well, no, that's stupid. That's not going to work. I was talked out of it. So I took a back seat. Then, uh, just basically, I wasn't able to be my full self in the marriage. So when I say it woke me up, the Jamera that I was prior to getting married was totally different. I'm like, how did I even end up in this marriage like this? Like, who are you? Who am I? I didn't know who I was. So once I was going through the divorce, something hit me, and I'm like, hold on, you are still her. You just had somebody that just didn't think that you was her.
Come on, say it with your chest, sis.
So once I realized, what, baby, ain't nobody shaking more than me. I said, oh yeah, you could go ahead and go, cause you couldn't handle none of this, no way. I said, okay, this is what I wasn't for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I gave you a chance, baby. I am so sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't
My,
mean it. I am so sorry.
right.
My bad. So when I say it woke me up, it charged something in me. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, no, no. You don't wear flats. You don't do that. This is not how you are. You walking around with sweats on and this, that, and other, looking frumpy. Girl, go in there and put your makeup on. Go get your hair done.
Hello.
Fix this.
Help.
Fix it now. So I woke up, and yes, I'm a different person, because there's different things that came out of it, but I believe I know that it made me a wiser person. The bitterness, bitterness was just for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, it was there. I had it. We go through a bitter moment, but it was for a moment. But it didn't last long, and it was just an awakening in me, and I feel like there's more awakening in me as well, because I'm like to the point where that divorce is not defining me. Me being divorced, okay, it happened, but it does not define who I am, and it's like a whole brand new person
Mm-hmm.
came out of that whole divorce. So I'm I hate to say it, I'm grateful for it. Because we all say God hates divorce and all of that, and you know what we say in church.
Right.
We don't believe in all of that, but I, it taught me a lesson. It reminded me of who I was, and now it's like now we're full throttle. Now, I'm still figuring out some things about me, but at the same time, it's just like, girl, you are still her, and act like it. You just gotta act like it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love you are still her. It's funny what situations in life will be used to really peel away the parts of you that really were not you,
Yeah.
so that the only thing that's left is the real you. Like at this point for me, I'm like, look, you got to learn to deal with me full throttle or not at all. 'Cause I don't have any other. There's no other speeds but this one. This is all I got.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you exactly who I am, because I don't want you to wake up one day and be like, "Well, wait a minute, who's she? Where does she come from?" You know, um, I don't. We can't have that. No, like you said, I am her. I've always been her. I am she. She is me. We are one. And
Right.
what it is, because it makes no sense. We're living a lie when we're giving people parts of us
Right.
just to we have a partner, or just to accommodate someone in our space, or
Right.
accommodate us in someone else's space. If I was never meant to fit in your space, I said I don't want to be in another space with another person that I don't belong in.
That I don't belong in. Absolutely.
We can go out. I can enjoy you. We can laugh till the wheels fall off, until I'm crying, until I can't catch my breath. But if we not meant to be, then bruh, let's just have the good time and say good night, because we cannot lock in over a good time. Can't do that any longer. Pastor Shank says he got you to shift quickly. Listen, it only takes one good time. You will wake all the way up.
You
You will
will wake
all
up.
the way up. Okay. Come on, Mel. What say you from the male perspective? Did divorce change you at all? And if it did, how did it wake you up to who you really are?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Did it change? Nah, because I always been me.
Like I'm
It's
not supposed to
what,
talk to you.
well, nah, nah. My mom was somewhere else. Listen, it's so much going on today. You see, it's so much. It's just a lot going on. But nah, I was always me. That's what makes me different. I'm always me. So it didn't change me. It changed my mindset though on marriage and my choices. But it didn't never change me. We make the decision. And sometimes, and it's bad to say, you can marry the wrong one. You feel me?
Mhm.
Um, if your ear, well, as men, because it's that he that findeth. But if your ear is not keen to what God is telling you, or in what you're doing in the marriage, then yeah, it could be the wrong one. Certain things my ex-wife didn't do. Certain things, she grew up in an apostolic family church, all that. I grew up Church of God in Christ, but Church of God in Christ, but and and, uh, I,
Hey,
I want to say Church of God in
hey,
Christ not too loud because
hey.
they look at it different. But of course, I've been baptized in His name, so I'm apostolic. Anyway, yeah, Koji. Yeah, I was Koji. Yeah, that part. I was Koji. Was
Got you. You
so
good?
at the end of the day, it was different things I was learning because I was still in the streets too. I was a party hardy, I was a jock. sports, boxing, all that. So I was leaning more to the streets, even though I was already in it partying. I was leaning more to it because all my peoples was out there. So, and then a friend of mine that I saw, of course, yo, get back in church, bro. And that's what happened. But my mindset as a kid always wanted to be married, have the white picket fence, have the little dog running around, because that's what we saw with different preachers and different people. Like, oh, I want that, but they never told us after that door closed what it's going to really be, you
Right.
know. And that's when things start happening when the door closed. I have two role models till this day. My godfather's 83, his wife is 82. They still look like they 26.
A comp.
And he was the role model, but he couldn't tell me but so much because he lived a distance away. I would call him, and then I got my other godmother C, Pastor C Wright and George C Wright, my godparents, their marriage on how they, they showed the best friends type
Love
marriage. This is
them.
my
Love them.
best, not my husband. This is my best friend. Now he got his boys, she got her girls, but we are best friends until we ride the wheels off. And so at the age that I'm at now, looking at them, I'm like, you know, God, you can still do your God thing, because that's what I look for. That's what I want. Now, I'm not rushing because it's been 20 some odd years that I've been in the game, but that's that's it right there. I'm not trying to live like them, but I just want that conversation, that connection of the best friend, just be the best friend. That's all, man. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm gonna need anyway. You know, the best friend, not the pointed wife, or the nagging, or the nagging husband and the nagging. No, you want that best friend. Like, what's up? What's good? You all right? You know my mood swings. You just know different things about me, and
That part.
it took different. Now, one thing about my ex-wife, she knew. She studied that part, but other parts she never studied. I said, you want to study just all the mad part, the anger part, but you want to study the good parts? Like, for real? Like, for real? She know I'm a jokester. I used to play around, but she know when I got mad and lit, she's like, she would knock and tap on the door in 2 weeks. She'd be like, are you ready to talk? I'd be like, I just need you to get to know me. This is crazy. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, but it was
She was
already.
safety first.
Say that again, D.
I said she was trying to be safe. She was like, safety first. I need to check.
Yeah, safety first, but you knew that when we was even going together. She knew that we was 3 years in going together as boyfriend and girlfriend. She knew my mood swings and different things like that, but I still came back around. She knew I'm loyal. She knew I love hard. I threw all my love. She knew that. That was, of course, men show different action of love. You go, hey baby, I love you and all. No, I just touched a lot. I touched, I kissed. She knew my language, but at the end of the day, it was just like everything was just getting mixed up, and I did my own thing. I just did my own thing, man. And detour. I didn't pray. I shut God out. I didn't do nothing. And I know he had his arms folded looking at me like, oh really? This is what all right, go ahead, do what you're going to. Listen, I give you choices. Take it here, take it there. And I took it there. So
I'm gonna let you do what you do. Let you get it out your system.
yeah. So but it didn't never change me, no, because I was always still that Mel. I was still that person. It just changed my mindset on what marriage really is and what to identify with and identify um with the woman. To well, I did that. Studied the woman because I studied my ex-wife. I studied. I knew her color. I knew her monthly. I knew everything. Shoe size, what she liked to eat, what she didn't like to eat, what to pick up when she didn't even have to tell me what to pick up. Everything, everything. I promise you everything. So sometimes I got mad because she knew only 80% of me, and I know 125% of you. That's crazy. And so I would get mad at different situations. You know, even on the intimate part, like, do I gotta tell it? It is just on my face. I need some sex. Like, what's the problem? And then she just, ignore the signs. So It was what it was. What it was. But
Okay,
you know,
well,
it,
okay. So divorce did not change you. It did not help you find out who you were because you were just you all the time. Period.
all the time I was me. Hallelujah.
And still,
Thank you, Jesus. I never switched.
he said, "I will
Even
not
when
be
I got
changed.
married,
I will not be moved. I shall be me."
I will not be. What's the song? You know, just what's the song? And they ain't in the Christian song. It's the Mary J song. Just take me as I am. You hear what I'm saying? Don't let me start preaching. Just take me as I am, or you will have nothing at all. Can I get a amen? You know,
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Pipe down, preacher.
Right.
Pipe down.
I see.
One of
I'm
us got the
the
juice.
Jamira go get my
Bring
water.
you got the
'Cause
juice
I'm about to
now
go up
in
in
your
the
offering.
church. Yeah, get my water. I'm about to go up in this church.
You need a towel?
He
Listen,
go get his change of clothes.
I think too with
And
marriage.
we got you.
Yeah, some people I think with marriage, because I hear it too out in the atmosphere of different people, they try to change the person, into mold them like they're Jesus and mold them to how they want to be. And once again, when you're in a marriage, you know, you bring all your faults, you bring all your good, your bad, your other, everything to the table, so y'all can, create something else out of it. I don't never say um what you bring to the table and what I'm bringing to the table. I say, listen, I'm bringing the tools. We're going to create the table together. We building
That's how
this
you do
together.
that.
You feel me? I'm not, because that's like saying I'm gonna bring my dining room set to your house, and and I'm gonna sit at my dining room set, and you gonna sit at your dining. No, no, that's crazy. I'm gonna bring I'm gonna bring the tools, and I'm gonna bring, and you got the wood. We got the wood, everything. So when I start building, maybe you can start shellacking or different things, because we're building it together. You know?
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, first of all, I'm just like, wow, this is gonna be a whole nother show. We gonna do another show. So I really wrote this down. I did, because you started talking about the table. I'm like, why do we even need the table? Who
Why?
started? What are you bringing to the table?
Why?
The table even come from, y'all? Like, what are we doing? I mean, but I get it though. But I get it. Like, if it has to be a table, let's build it together. Like, bro, if you gotta ask me what am I bringing to the table, it makes me question what you got. Why are you lacking? What you need? But that's just me. That's the way I work. I'm just like, why are you worried about what I'm bringing? Because if you're all self-sufficient, then why are you worried about what I got? What are you bringing to the table, sir? I'm like, because I don't need your table. I got my own. But I'm just saying, because Eric knows. He knows me very. We known each other for over 30 years, so he knows me very well. And that's how I will tell anybody. I was like, why are you asking? What do you need that you worried about? What I'm bringing to a table? Like, you ain't got what you need. You need a candle. You need a plate. Like, something missing from yours? Because I thought, man, y'all came with all the things. It was just up there. Oh, okay. Ain't nobody want to talk about that though. So we're gonna have to have a lot. We're gonna have to have a podcast just about the table.
Yeah, men front just like women front. People get what they want to get just to get, the woman or the man. So you'll front a little bit, when you bring it back. You know what I'm saying? That's look at that's how sometimes it portrays. You got to front a little bit. You got to throw on a little facade a little bit. Same thing with
Because
women.
Dawn knows I'm having a flashback right now.
Well, hold on, keep flashback for a minute. Let me read these comments.
I'm having a
And then
flashback.
let you share. I hope y'all are tapping in. At 8:30, we a little behind schedule, but at 8:30, no matter what conversation we're having, it goes left. And it goes to what we call after dark. So after dark is the real conversations. In the month of August, we doing all after dark. There's no holds barred. It's going to be off the chain and wow. But great conversation. We keep it really real here. So, hope y'all are having a good time, because we having a good time. I'm going to read these comments, and then I'm going to ask Eric this dangerous question only because it's me asking. But let him go. I'm going to turn him loose. Terrence said, have a hearty handshake and a healthy hello. But I was talking about telling the people bye. That's how you release them from your life. If you cannot handle all of me full throttle, then it just means that we're not meant to be together. I'm not here to intimidate women. We are not here to intimidate anybody. I'm here to be everything that I'm supposed to be, so that I'm equipped to be everything for you that I need to be. When you are him, that's one thing I'm like. You are him. You won't be intimidated by it. You'll be cheering for it. And when I am her, I'm intimidated by all the things that you are and that you do. I will cheer you on and support you. Pastor Shank says the right man will embrace everything that God made you. Exactly. I did not always know that. I'm not ashamed to say I did not always know that. I did not always realize that. It didn't always make sense to me, and I had to really unlearn some stuff and relearn the fact that no, I'm not too much. I'm just too much for you, and that's okay. It's all right. I'm usually never bothered. And I'm to the point now where I can already tell, and I'm sure, sis, Lady J, I know you are the same, because we here. We can already tell, like, bruh, you not, no. Now, I appreciate it. But you can't, you're not ready for this. This is not, no, promise.
You know what I gotta say to that, though? You are the weakest link. Goodbye. That's it.
See, but I be trying to now. I'm reformed, so I'm trying to be nice now. I'm trying to be nicer.
No, you gotta let that Tasmanian devil go sometimes, and you just gotta tell him that straight up.
Well, you gotta push me to that place.
Because Dawn, I know that some people just don't get it in their head.
That is true. Patrick says, "Facts are facts, no lies told." All right, so we threw the comments. So I'm gonna ask you this question, and then I'm gonna go around one time. This is amazing. I love y'all. I'm enjoying myself tonight. I can't even lie. I needed this. Y'all are giving me life. Lady J, we definitely listen. We linking up. I don't care what nobody say. So Eric, so did divorce change you, and or did it wake you up to who you really are? Do share.
Ooh.
Lord.
It's in there.
You got 3 minutes, because you setting up for service. You setting up for service.
Listen.
Let me get my pen and paper ready.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Divorce has changed me. Divorce has changed me. It changed me because it was my first marriage. So I learned a lot.
Lady, I might add.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, to a lovely lady, I might add.
No, that's still up in the air. But
no, she's a lovely lady.
Yes, you are.
She's not your lady. She's just a lovely lady. I'm just saying. Your wife is amazing.
You're a lovely lady.
Your wife is amazing. She's beautiful. Love you, Tasha.
Yes, she's amazing. Is she on?
Oh, no, I was just shouting. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to take away from your 3 minutes.
Yes, divorce did change me because I had to learn how to love myself again. Because when we divorced, it was a hurting process. So when we divorced, I was out in the streets. I'm gonna be honest about it.
Yeah, you was.
Because I was hurt. And so I was hitting up strip clubs. I was doing all that. I'm being honest. I can talk like that. And then I had to, it woke me up, and I just had to.
You took to the pole life, Eric? I'm so sorry.
I wasn't sliding down the pole. Okay, let's get this right. We ain't going there, Dawn.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to send you to the pole. No,
we ain't going there. We ain't going there. I wasn't on the pole.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Who were on the pole.
We could joke like that. We could joke like that. We just joke. That's how we joke. I'm sorry.
You were supporting the pole. That's all. You were supporting the pole.
I was supporting, I have to support the women in their lifestyle.
That's right.
They trying to make their so But I had to learn to love myself again and everything. After a while in the streets and dating different women, and I was just like, they're not giving me what I want. They're not giving me what I want and everything. All they want to do is take, and not give. And also, I had to leave that alone for a while, and I had to get on bending knee and pray to God and ask Him to cleanse my heart, help me to see where I went wrong, and to help me heal, so I could be the man that I need to be for the next woman to come into my life. And that happened to be my current wife, my current wife, Natasha, the only other woman, and so forth, because we are not getting divorced. And I've said this several thousand times, and so forth. This is my second and last marriage. I'm 57 years old. I don't have time to be going out in the streets. If we got divorced, I'm not going out in the streets again. I'm just gonna be like, okay, it's just gonna be me and the Bible. That's it. And she supports me in everything that I do, and I support her in everything that she do. We butt heads sometimes, but we come to a compromise on things. And um, it's marriage is a compromise. It's a give and take. It can't be a 60-40. It can't be a 70-30. It has to be a 50-50. And it doesn't make, what I'm saying? She makes more than me. So, but she doesn't treat me like she makes more than me. And you got to be equal on that. And so forth. And she doesn't make me feel less of a man because she makes more than me.
Mm-hmm.
If I made more than her, I'm not going to make her feel less of a woman. I'm not going to say to her, well, I make more than you. I would like to come home and house be clean sometime. Well, I got to come in and I'm always picking up stuff and I'm always cleaning the bathroom. I'm always cooking and cleaning the kitchen. I'm not going to do all that. And so, if there's dishes in the sink, I'm going to clean it because I got to eat too.
Right.
I got to drink out of the cups. I got to eat off the plates. I gotta go in the bathroom. I gotta use the shower just like she gotta use the shower. So yes, we as men, can't think like that. You gotta be a 50-50.
So did divorce so did the divorce help you, or as Lady J put it, remind you of who you really are? Did it
Yes.
go back to who you really are?
Yeah. Because I did, like I said, I did lose myself for a while and everything. So yeah, I had to. Divorce had to, the divorce. Yeah, it reminded me of who I am. It did, and I had to actually um remind myself of what my aunt and uncle had with their 50+ years marriage, my grandmother and my grandfather with their marriage. You know what I'm saying? My elders basically, and all because my family's from the South, so my family was very tight knit and so forth. So like I said, when people in the family got divorced, we wouldn't even know it. You still there's a family still hung around and got came as family dinners and all that. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, you got to be able to have when you're married. You got to be able to have your best friend. Your wife and husband is your best friend. Sometimes I do tell my wife, go out, go hang out, please, by all means, go. I gotta force her to go hang out because she always want to stay on. Well, why can't we stay on and watch TV? Because I need you to go.
Wow.
Because I'm a DJ, so you know me. I got to do my music, and I want to do my music in peace. I don't want to do my music with her in the house, and she's on the phone in the background, walking through the house on the speaker, and so forth, and I can't concentrate on what I'm doing.
I'm glad you're still going to therapy.
Yes,
Keep going.
I
Keep.
definitely will be.
I'm praying for you.
It's a
I'm
day-to-day
like
struggle
that.
with certain things. Yes, I gotta go.
Yeah. I love that though. I love that. I love the honesty and the transparency in this conversation on tonight. We just
Now
keeping it
I can
real.
turn the hat back around.
Okay, good.
I
Thank you
need to
for.
make sure you saw my face when I say what I need to say.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Bishop. We appreciate that.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate you. Only on Thursday nights. You never know what you're gonna get, but you're gonna get a lot of this tomfoolery. This is what happens. It is what it is. We are who
Yeah.
we are. And we don't apologize for it at all. People need to have more of these real type conversations in just a calm atmosphere. As I said, I don't like to interview. I like for us to talk and have real talk. Like, can we get down to the root of the matter? I want to be better. I don't want to be right. I want to get it right. And that means that we have to get to a place of being totally honest and transparent and saying, I don't know this, or I was not right, or this is where I struggle, or I'm just hurt and just I feel and I'm stuck in my stomach, whatever it is, because until we get honest about it, we will not be able to, we won't be able to, to share and to
Yeah.
get better.
I got
Um,
one more. I got one more thing I gotta say.
okay.
Do not try to change the person that you're with. Don't try to change that person that you're with, because you like that person the way that they were when you met them. So don't try to change them into something that you think is going to benefit you. That person has to grow for you to love that person. So don't try to change them.
Okay. You heard it here first, right? You gotta love who you love, the person as is.
Right.
If they do not fit your mold, then that's just not your person, and it's okay. But no one wants to be out of place because that just adds issues to the situation.
Correct.
So I hope this conversation tonight has been helpful thus far. Again, y'all, go grab your book. I'm Divorced Now What? By Melvin and Lady J, excuse me. And there are other stories in here as well. There are 10 amazing chapters in this book. I promise you, they're going to be there. They're going to help you out. The lack of spontaneity in relationships, the divorce journey, hello to my new chapter, life lessons and suggestions on divorce, how to avoid divorce. Persistence is your superpower. It went down in the DMs. Understanding the emotional journey of divorce, additional affirmations to support healing, and affirmations for healing after divorce. These are the 10 chapters that are in this amazing book. And it's real talk, y'all. It's not any type of theoretical counseling session, textbook information. These are people who are talking to you about the real path and journey of divorce that has been taken, the real steps that we have walked through. I'm not in this book, but I surely can relate to everything in here. The steps that are taken through this process. And again, and I wish that this book was written 15 years ago. It helped me find my way through divorce a whole lot easier than the journeys that we took. Having that information is key and important. Pastor Shank says sometimes people bring someone to the table they have no desire to maintain. That's true too, but I don't have no time for visitors at my table. I really don't. I ain't got it. We not sending out dinner invitations no more. We're not doing that. I'll meet you at the buffet outside, but we ain't. Yeah, I ain't got time for that. We too old at this big old age, as I usually say. We ain't got time for it. He also says righteousness over right. That's right. I don't want to be right. I now want to get it right. And with that, give people grace. Because some of us are relearning what it's like. I know for me, like I said, I'll be 56 at the end of this year, and I'm relearning. I've relearned, and I'm also discovering me. I'm learning Dawn at this age in a dating situation and a relationship space, what that looks like. Things that I want, because stuff that I used to want, I don't want no more. Things I used to do, I can't do no more. Some stuff I don't even want to do no more. So it's the relearn, and you got to give people grace as we are out here redefining and redeveloping who we are now. Life changes after 50. It really does. It's a whole nother ball game, and we go through different cycles and different seasons. But at any age, at any stage, you still have to give each other grace as you're going through and we're learning. We're recovering from a dream that was deferred and a dream that, yes, Pastor Shanks, in November, I will be 56. Oh, hold on. He also says sometimes people present someone they have no desire to be. Yeah, I don't have time for that either. And that's true. And I don't have time for that either. I need you to show me who you are, what you come with. I need to see your struggles first, believe it or not. What is it, so that I can understand? And it's not to judge, but it's to understand what capacity do I have the capacity to manage you through that? Because it's not the good times that we need the support, and the good times are good. It's the bad times, it's the hard times, it's the unfavorable times. Like, that's where love was really meant to be applied. We got this whole marriage thing and love thing backwards. And again, God is my moral compass. So I'm going to say it like this. I say it, I've said it before, said God, God sent his son, Jesus came to die for us at a time when we were at our worst. He came to pay a price for us, at a time when we couldn't do it. God sent him because he loved us, and he loved us at the time when we were at our worst, not when everything was great. He didn't send him then, but he sent them when we were at our worst because we needed something more than what we had. So because of his love for us, he sent him. So to me, I've come to understand that in marriage and in relationships, that the love that I have to have for you has to be applied when you are at your worst. And that is what graces me to stick through it with you. I'm here to love you through your worst, love you to better. We're here to love each other to better. Love untested is not love. Love unproven is this, and we got to put it to the test. And as I said, grace is so important. So as we're going through these redefining moments of now what? Now I'm divorced. I had to give up the dream that I had. I had to give up the life that I had. I had to give up the vision that I have. But the beautiful thing is now I have the opportunity to dream again. And I think that is one of the main things. Divorce did change me. It did change me. And it absolutely, I felt like I was the Israelites walking, taking this 40-year journey for a 3-day, it should have been 3 days. It took me 40 years because I had to get some stuff out of me. Mm-hmm. It took me long to get things out of me so that I could get to who I really am and be okay with being who I really am. And be okay with knowing that, nope, everybody's not going to be able to handle all that you are. And it's okay. So for me, now what is I get to be me fully, freely, totally, unapologetically, with no shame, and I'm all right with it. Because what's for me will come to me when it's supposed to. As I go on my journey, there's someone that we have now become that the person that's meant for us won't find until we actually be everything that we're supposed to be. Because that's the version of us that they're waiting to see. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation tonight. Pastor Shanks said, okay, I'm going to be 50 next year. What do I need to know? Pastor Shanks, I'm going to give you my 50, welcome to 50 class. It's $3.36 a month. I got a payment for it. Don't worry about it. We do layaway. Patrick said, watch yourself. You creeping into my... Oh, hey. Come on, Bishop. All right now. Come on. Wednesday is coming. I feel the Lord. I feel the Lord. Come on, preach, sir. We ready. We ready. It's just confirmation. But this has been a great conversation, and I hope that we will all do it again and again and again. Well, Lady J, you already know you coming. Mel, you already know y'all know what it is. Eric, I ain't got to tell you. But this has been a great conversation on tonight, and I really want to thank you guys for coming in and sharing again. It just gets better and better. On I'm divorced now. What, as we're talking about family matters within the month of July, because we know summertime is time for get-togethers, for family barbecues, for family reunions, for all of these things where you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of people or not that you may want to see or not, and we need to know how we can navigate our way through those spaces or not. Uh, and do so honestly with our heads up, and freely and in peace. I refuse to let anybody disturb my peace. So even if I had to be in a space, with my ex, thankfully we get along. But I made up my mind at one point in life, I'm not going to be uncomfortable in any space. The people who I may have the issue with are the ones going to be uncomfortable. But me, I'm going to be me fully and totally. So I want to just leave way for our panelists to have their final words, tell them how they can get in contact with you. And I want you to each share a little bit on what, now that they're divorced and we've gotten through this, what piece of advice or direction could you give people concerning now what? What do I do now? I'm going to start with Eric and go to Mel, and then Lady J, I want you to have fun.
So you got through the divorce. What can you do now is move forward. Don't stay stagnant. Move forward with no ill intentions towards your ex. When you sign those divorce papers, the divorce is final, which means you're free. The other person is free. If you have children involved, maintain a healthy communication relationship for the children. It don't have to be a healthy personal relationship, but it has to be a healthy communication relationship because you have children together.
Okay.
That's it.
And how can the people find you? Where can they find you at?
They can find me on Facebook. Gee whiz. DJ, well, no, Eric Swinton on Facebook. DJ Elove 2025 yahoo.com. My Instagram, the official DJ Elove. That's about it. That's it for the pages. And withoutwarningradio.com. I'm sorry.
All right, cool. You heard it here. Come on, Mel. What could you tell the people, or would you leave them with on tonight about the now what? Now the divorce, now what? What's next?
Well, the now what is keep living. Keep living. Keep God first and keep living. Keep, be attentive or listen to his voice and make sure you're going down the right direction. Don't detour. And you know, take yourself out, be happy with you, enjoy you, and eventually, that second half will come if you're still looking for that, or if you're not, just keep living. Just be happy. Don't live in misery. Don't worry about what's going on in the news, the naysayers, none of that stuff. Keep living. If you know your word, you know what the word says. You know what I'm saying? That we living more abundantly. So just keep living, put a smile on your face, live in peace, and enjoy you. That's about it.
Okay.
Enjoy you.
Move forward and keep living. Now, our Lady J, see, we know the devil, she's said it. He's messing with her.
Somebody probably call her. Somebody.
Right.
Oh, he really don't want her to speak.
Right. She's stuck now. She's stuck. She's got her in the abyss. That's all right. She might have to come out and come back in. While we're trying to get, okay, she'll be back. While we're waiting for her to come back to share her final comments, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to tell you guys that I appreciate you so much for always being here with me on Thursday nights. My now what is do what's next. Do what's next. Now what? Everything. My thoughts and my feelings right now are simply, it's all or nothing, and nothing is not an option. So it's all for me. There she goes. Come on, Lady J. We're not even gonna talk about it. Come on and share with them some good tips on now what, and tell What? Oh wait, Mel, how can the people find you? I'm sorry. How can people find you, Mel?
Oh, they can find me. Nah, they can, because you have some weirdos. They be finding you. Be like, you was on that shit. No. But they can find me on Instagram, MUNTZDP71. You know,
Okay.
that's my new. Well, it ain't a new IG, but that's my IG, and Facebook is just Melvin Phillips. Yeah.
All right. People might want to purchase the book personally. So y'all be careful because it's screening. I'm just saying. Just
Yeah.
he said, don't do the weirdo stuff. You're gonna get rejected. Okay.
Um,
Be easy, y'all. Be easy. Come on, Lady J. Tell us some good information, good advice, some good direction on. I'm divorced. Here we are. Now what?
Now what? Now what? Remember who you are. Remember whose you are. Stay focused. Keep it moving. Keep moving. And if you're entering into another situation, make your expectations known. Don't go in with no unspoken expectations because that's a lot of times where we all mess up. Make your intentions and expectations known, but keep moving.
And how can the people find you?
Ooh, what y'all want? I mean, where y'all want to find me at? That's where I mean.
Well, give us one social media handle they can locate you if they needed to.
What is my social media? Instagram is good because I'm always on there. Jamsco, I think it's Jamsco, JAMSCHO on Instagram.
Okay. Y'all heard it here. All right. This is part of the team of I'm Divorced Now What?
Oh, wait. And fellas, understand this disclaimer. If you go and search for this lady, make sure you come correct with her for her.
You
If
better.
you're not ready to be on that level, don't come. The same for Dawn. Don't come. You don't understand what you're dealing with.
Don't bring yourself over here. Say
There
it
you
again,
go.
Mr. E. I like
There you
you.
go.
Don't you come
Listen,
over here.
I'm going to tell you, like I said, thank you, E, for that disclaimer, but I'm going to tell you, like the Bible says in the Song of Solomon, do not wake up love too early. If you ain't ready, don't knock. Okay? Save yourself. All right? Do not wake it up too early. I'm just saying, I'm going to leave it there. So,
you
hey,
heard
y'all.
that? You ain't ready? Don't knock.
There
Don't
you
Don't
knock.
go.
don't your fingers is gonna be hurting. They might even be bleeding because you're gonna be tapping. Okay, this big pressure over here. Don't play with it. All right, don't
It
play.
is. It is.
You
Very
play
much so.
with
Very much so.
this big old age. All right. I can't even understand. We don't went so far left.
Dawn, you know I know, Dawn, so stop it. You know I know.
Yes, you do know. You know.
I know. And if the guys who came after me knew, they would have known. They should have known. That's all.
Well, that's why they come and gone because they
There you
don't
go.
know.
There you go. Because you the weakest link. Goodbye. That's
Listen,
it.
we're just trying to help some people out. That's all. So me and Lady J, we appreciate you. But we
Yes.
just saying what we said, okay? And we gonna leave it there.
There you go.
Thank you, Lady J. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, E. I appreciate y'all. Couldn't have this conversation without y'all. Bravo Nation, y'all are the best. Tune in next Thursday night. We will have my girl Kina Luma on. She's going to be sharing from her book. We're going to be talking about love and loss. Unfortunately, she wrote a book due to the passing of her 4-year-old daughter. But we talk about this struggle because there are people out here that may be walking and smiling and are in our families, but are still hurting, grieving, and in pain and growing through it. So she's going to come on and share with us about that dynamic. So y'all come on in and support. Be here. We want to hear what she has to say. And it's going to help you learn how to walk through this process of grief as well and still enjoy life because you can still smile even though you are grieving. So with that being said, guys, I want to invite you to join us on Monday night Beyond the Mic at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where you can find me. Other than Thursday nights here, you can find me on TikTok under Lady Dawn B. You can find me on Facebook, Dawn D. Brathwaite. You can find me everywhere. Y'all know how to find me. You ain't got to worry about it. You just come here. I'll be here all the time. That's what I'm saying. So, other than that, I do want to invite y'all back to Monday night on July 21st, because if you enjoyed hearing Mel talk tonight, he's going to be on the panel with us again. We might have to loop you in, Lady J, because we are talking about dating after divorce. Remember that? It's the check your text now. Check your text.
Mel's like, huh? Really?
It's not in, the 21st. Yeah. We talk about it. Anyway, y'all. Y'all have a great night. Thank y'all for coming. We're just gonna call it a night now, because we just need to see y'all next week.
Oh.
Hang in there with me, panel. Oh God, y'all are funny.
Shine a light on my imperfections like a